very warm welcome. In today's video, we're going to talk Daniel Ricciardo and 2 races to save his career. He's been given the ultimatum. He must improve. And already Daniel Ricciardo said, after 3 rounds, it's not where I want to be. It's been a torrid start for the Australian, and his F1 career is now on the line. It's pressure. Sacked by McLaren. Is he going to be sacked by Racing Bulls? It's simply nowhere near good enough for Daniel Ricciardo. And the facts of the matter, Liam Lawson is waiting to be given a chance. And Red Bull and that whole programme, Horner banging the drum for Ricciardo, Lawson should have been in to begin with. And this would not occur. You would have 2 competitive, hungry drivers in Yuki and Liam Lawson. But they've caused their own problem here. And obviously Racing Bulls, it's meant to be a young team promoting through. But they've gone for Ricciardo, who's obviously... But it's just been disastrous by Daniel Ricciardo. He's been outraced and outqualified. 3-0. Of course, you're going to say he beat Yuki at Bahrain, but he couldn't beat it. He couldn't beat Yuki. He had to get the team to do it for him. So really, I class it as 3-0 in qualifying and the race. Let's be real. We come into the season, we're expecting probably Daniel Ricciardo to get the job done, but it's not occurred. Yuki should be quite proud. Actually, he's really improved and he's stepped up. And you've got to give, as much as you criticise Ricciardo, you've got to give Yuki his dues because he's done a really good job, especially in qualifying. So Ricciardo's season, it's been disastrous. I mean, it just has. Bahrain, he couldn't get past Yuki, had to get the team to do it for him. Saudi, he had that embarrassing spin chasing Logan Sargent. And then his home Grand Prix, he's exceeded track limits. Lap time deleted, he starts 18th, and that's fucked his weekend before he's begun. So leaving Red Bull was Daniel Ricciardo's biggest mistake. He didn't want to play number 2 to Max, and now he would give his left bollock to play number 2 to Max. I mean, he's got ambitions to go back to Red Bull. He's going to be lucky to stay at Racing Bulls, never mind Red Bull. Wow. 2014, Daniel Ricciardo was prime. I mean, don't forget, he was up against Vettel, who was the current world champion, won 4 titles, and Daniel Ricciardo beat him. He was prime Daniel Ricciardo. He was known for late on the brakes, and but he's a shadow of his former self. And maybe it's time for his F1 career to be done. He was sacked by McLaren for a reason. He lived off that Monza win that was handed to him. And now the reality is he's probably going to get sacked by Racing Bulls. And Lawson's waiting. And Lawson should have been in at the start of this season. And he wasn't. And it was criminal, in my view. Yuki and Lawson should be the lineup. But it's up to Ricciardo now. He's got Japan. Yuki's just embarrassed him at Australia, his home race. Ricciardo needs to do the same to Yuki at Japan. He needs to pull a marker down because the pressure's on. The race after Japan is China. That's obviously where he's won before, Daniel Ricciardo, in 2017, where he put that mega move on Bottas. It's make or break now for Ricciardo. You know Red Bull, they don't have any patience. His highlight since he came back has been Mexico. He got injured, was out for a load of races. Lawson did a great job. He's come back. He's getting absolutely smashed to bits by Yuki Tsunoda. And the reality is Lawson will be in soon. No top 10 all year. Qualifying, the races. Daniel Ricciardo, an 8-time race winner. No top 10. What's going on? And he's going to miss FP1 as well at Japan, as Ayuma Iwasa will be in. So that'll be good. Home Grand Prix like for Yuki and Iwasa. to be teammates in FP1. Yeah, Marco, Horner, they absolutely blow Daniel Ricciardo, but the reality is Daniel Ricciardo is a shadow of his former self, and it is quite sad to see how his career's gone, because if he ends up getting sacked by Racing Bulls, it's embarrassing. To end his career, he's been sacked by McLaren and Racing Bulls. Like, a driver should be calling time on his career when he decides, not when the team decides. He's a fan favourite, he talks a good game, but the reality is his results are shocking. And if he doesn't have a good Japan, China, he will be out and Lawson will be in. And then I reckon that'll cause fireworks. Lawson and Yuki, both Hungary drivers. We saw them clash at Japan last season, so yeah, going to be interesting. The reality is, I think Daniel Ricciardo is finished in Formula 1 and he's trying to cling on. But the reality is, I mean, he should have never left Red Bull. That's where his career has gone down the Swanee. Yeah, and now he would actually give his left nut to be Max's teammate and play number 2. Should have just stayed there. He would have won the odd race, the odd pole. You know, madness, absolute madness.